G'day, it's Simon and James. Welcome to South OC Cars and Coffee. It is perfect Southern California weather and a perfect turnout of cars. I couldn't believe the lineup when we opened this morning.
Huge.
Absolutely huge. What have you seen, James?
It is a crazy day today. So we have the guys from DDE behind us with a Murcielago that they brought out, that crazy Murci GT1. A couple of Ceratos as well, a really cool sand-colored one. I think I saw a green one sneak in as well. 3RSs, Aventador SVs, SVJs, everything you guys could possibly want to see. It is a great day today. What have you seen?
Yeah, we got hot rods as well, a couple of classic hot rods, and we got a Corvette club as well. So break out the New Balance.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a busy morning. Hey, don't forget, if you come to South OC Cars and Coffee, please remember to respect our rules. No speeding, no revving, no burnouts. That includes on the streets of San Clemente and getting on off those freeways. Mate, there's a ton to see. Let's go for a walk, check some stuff out.
Let's do it.
DDE in the house. Good to see you, brother. Welcome. Yeah, you do. Good to see you. Reversing a Lambo the way a Lambo should be reversed. Sitting out on the door sill.
What a great way to start off the exotics row. Here this morning we have the daily driven exotics Murcielago GT1. This thing is absolutely wild. If you guys have seen the older SVJ that they had, they still have actually had this crazy livery on it. It's a historic racing livery that I absolutely love, and with this GT1 body kit, it's just so crazy. Let's have a look at the interior of this car. Of course, the gated 6-speed manual and the tailor-made interior, full custom. Absolutely love this car. Here we have an absolutely wild Lamborghini Huracan Sterrato. Belongs to Rob, who's a long-term attendee of ours. He has a crazy collection of other Huracans. He has an STO and an Evo as well. And this is his latest acquisition from the Huracan lineup. An absolutely beautiful Sterrato. Love this paint on this. Super cool. It's like a sand finish to it with a crazy green Alcantara interior, but it works so well for this spec. Beautiful magnesium wheels on it. You can see that super aggressive roof scoop. What a crazy car. Here we have a lineup of 992s this morning, all GT cars, absolutely beautiful. Starting off with this stunning frosted silver metallic 992 GT3, has the buckets in there, and of course that 6-speed manual. Beautiful God's Red 992 3RS. We've had this here a couple of times. Then also the guys over at Notorious RS. This car is stunning. A beautiful livery on this 992 GT3RS. He is also getting the carbon replacement program from the guys over at 1016 Industries. So this car is going to be super cool when it's done. Very nice. And then next to it we have another God's Red 992 GT3. What a lineup. Between all of these 4 992s, which one would you take? I think I'd have to go with this 3RS right here. Here we have a super understated 600 LT. I actually walked right past this thing, then had to come back and take a video of it. Super pretty, has very minimal carbon on the outside, but a beautiful black exterior. This metallic painted, actually, I'm not sure if you guys can see, it has the center buckets on the inside with the red seat belts and the red accents on this car. Love how subtle this is, very tasteful.
This little Alfa Romeo is so beautiful. I don't know if these are the original wheels, but if they are, what a pretty design on there. There's something about these older Alfas, they just have so much style, so much class. They really typify that Italian sports car. You know, for those that couldn't afford something like a Ferrari or a Lancia, the Alfa Romeo was just the car that was within reach of everybody. And to me, there was some nice Fiats, don't get me wrong, but this was just in its own little class. Great sounding, great driver's car as well. Really pretty design.
We have such a clean Huracan Technica. This thing is absolutely beautiful. Full wrap on this car, slammed on a set of Brixtons with a VF Engineering exhaust and software on it. This car is just killer. Very cool. The owner of this also has a beautiful satin red SVJ as well. And yeah, I think this must be his daily, I guess, but it's so cool. Love it. We have a couple more cars sneak in. You see Ryan Edge with his beautiful Huracan Evo, this stunning 992 GT3RS. And then behind it, this guy's actually security for the guy in the 3RS apparently with his Escalade V. What a cool car to be following with. Absolutely love it. Oh, and you can't forget the chicane 765. Look at this thing. God, that's pretty. Arguably one of the coolest 991.22 RSs that I've ever seen. This stunning Mexico blue YSAC 2RS is perfect. Have a look at this thing. Tons of exposed carbon from the YSAC pack. Carbon hood, carbon roof, carbon fenders. You got the carbon mirror caps, side intakes, wing. Everything on this car is carbon. It is so, so pretty. Have a look at this thing. Of course, on the inside, you've got the bucket seats. The beautiful paint on this car. Very, very cool.
Pack show this morning, overflow lot full. Look at this, got a whole lot of FRS/BRZs through there, more through here. Supra, great little old 280ZX over here, great little car. R35, a couple of Type Rs, more Subarus through here, down through here. Some great cars this morning. Oh, this is nice, check this out. Very, very nice. So there is a little bit of a holy grail of JDM side by side. GTR, Supra. GTR, Supra. Which one are you going to pick? It's a tough call. I don't know that I could choose between these two. We got a good lineup of people in our sponsors row this morning, starting with Josh, the auto buyer. Great looking Bronco they got here this morning, running that 5-litre Coyote, as you'd expect to find in a modern Mustang. That looks great. Next to it, a C7 Corvette, one of my favourites. I think these cars are just so good. Big welcome to our newest sponsor, Go Mobile Tyres. These guys are amazing. They do such a good job of coming to on-site, fitting tyres for you. They can supply, they can fit, they can balance. Their van is the most state-of-the-art setup you've ever seen. So rather than having to go off to the shop and have somebody drop you back to work or whatever, these guys will actually come to you and do the job in your driveway. They actually fitted all the tyres and balanced all the tyres on my Camaro, so those, even the bead locks on the back, they came in and did all of that. But they also came and fixed a puncture on Sarah's Cayman in our driveway as well. So great job, Go Mobile Tyres. Next to it, great to have these guys on this morning. This is Red Rock Performance. If you are looking for any sort of hose fittings, these guys do it all really, really nice. Look at this anodized fitting, black and the blue and the red under there. Braided steel lines. So make sure to come and see these guys at the show as well. They'll be here for the next month. Next to it, MR Weston. You're looking to buy a house, sell a house, come and see these guys. They do a great job, always at the show. iAccident Lawyers. These guys are great, always giving away things. And as we follow through here this morning, my friend and somebody I've used many times, this guy over here is Jeb. This is OC Dent Guy. So if you've got any door dings or dents in your car, Jeb will come out and he'll actually get rid of them, fix them for you. You can see some of the examples, some of the work they've done. I can attest to the work they've done. He's done work on my Camaro, on Sarah's Porsche, on her previous X4, Acura, both of my trucks, James's car. I would not trust anybody but Jeb to take the dents out of my cars, so make sure to check out OC Dent Guy, paintless dent removal as well. Great to have you along this morning, Jeb. And then, of course, last but not least, we've got the guys from Mazda here. Great to have them at the show all the time. Make sure to come and check them out. And if you're local, go down to Capistrano Mazda as well and check out the vehicles. This is the new CX-50 Hybrid. You can check on the QR code for more information there. Now, this is Jeff joining us over here. Jeff, I've known you since, gosh, you came to our first Cars and Coffee, I think, in 2015. You've been coming to the show forever. And this is your Mustang, and it's pretty much stock, right?
It's all stock.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the stock things that it's got. So it has the Whipple.
Yep.
And you're also running, it looks like a 4-inch pulley on that. But there's some cool stuff going on with this supercharger in terms of, most of the time this supercharger would use a mechanical or vacuum operated bypass valve, but you're running an electronic.
So we're running what they call a smooth boost, and it's an electronic bypass valve. Allows us to control how fast the boost comes in. More or less a turbo controller for a supercharger.
So you can basically control that point. You can't necessarily change the amount of boost,
but I can control how
fast it comes in, which I can speak to the fact that when I went to just going to a larger throttle body on my Camaro was enough to create such a change in the amount of vacuum in the plenum in the car that the boost was coming on so quick, I kept throwing belts on the thing.
That's what we were having problems with, is keeping tires under it, belt slippage.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a few other things. Is that a 4 Innovations fuel regular?
Yep, full 4 Innovations fuel system, built motor.
E85.
E85, catch cam, built transmission, rear end.
Yep.
All the stuff to make it a fun street car.
So the rear end of this, is it still independent rear, or is it running a solid rear axle?
It's solid rear.
Okay, and so are they still like a 9-inch still these days when they put it in here?
It's an 8.8.
8.8, yeah.
So it's an 8.8 welded tubes, full spool, all the stuff to keep it nailed down to the ground. It's got a basically full reinforcements in it. It's a tough car. And what times you've taken it 8th mile? It's 637 and 8.
Right, that's
on the big pulley.
That's awesome. We'll look at the wheels and tyres. You're running some Mickey Thompson on the back on some beadlocks. How much horsepower are you putting down now?
About 825.
At the wheels?
At the wheels.
Yeah, and torque?
Somewhere in the 750 range.
Right, excellent. It's a great car, mate. You've always been bringing it along to the shows, and some really nice stuff like the true fibre, carbon fibre hood under here. It's a great looking car, and you always it's not the same car we've been seeing all of these years. There's been a reinvention of the car. We won't go into why that happened.
Walls at 120 hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
When you break parts, know that.
Yeah, break parts on the drag strip and decide to hit the wall at 120 mile an hour. I wouldn't recommend you do that again, mate.
I'm trying not to.
Yeah, good job. Hey, thanks for coming out today, mate, and also supporting our mutual friend, Jeb from OC Dent Guy.
I think the girls with their nails done now.
This is a Morgan 3-wheeler, and it's this vehicle, or one of these vehicles, that actually caused the demise of the show Top Gear as we know today. Top Gear, of course, this car was no stranger. You might remember a track day where Hammond was driving one of these. One of them was driving a KTM. I think the other one was actually a little Lotus or Caterham or something like that. And Hammond was actually doing donuts in one of these. Well, the story goes, the reason that Top Gear finished was Freddie, of course, who was the addition to the Top Gear team after the 3 left, was out on the track in one of these. He wasn't wearing a helmet and he rolled it. And of course, yes, there's a roll cage, but there's not a lot of protection there for you as a driver. He should have been wearing a helmet. That's the bottom line. It's not the fault of the car. It's the fault of the driver for doing something the car was never designed to do and not wearing a helmet. I love these little cars. They're very pure. They're very organic. They just are such a time capsule, because they really, when you look at it, they haven't changed a great deal from the original versions. And I reckon it's absolutely brilliant. Great to see you here this morning. Really nice little 912 Targa sitting here, 1968. You know, the 912 was Porsche's answer to trying to get the price down a little bit. They had a 1.6 litre 4-cylinder as opposed to the flat 6, so flat 4 instead of flat 6. But today, when you look at how few 912s were built compared to the 911s, there's actually a bit of a cult following that's starting, because they're actually more rare than the 911s are. And it's not like they were built on a budget. They were just a less expensive car. So great to see. Love the orange on this car as well. They did some really great colours in this era. There was a really bright sort of lime green, sort of yellowy green that they did, as well as some really interesting greens, and then of course this bright orange. But I love the Targa. It's one of the reasons I love the new Targa as well, because it's such a Porsche look. And they do it so well. It looks just as good on the later models as it does on this wonderful 1968 912. Not something you see every day. This is a little Volkswagen Sirocco. You see plenty of Golfs, but this was something a little different. Great looking car. It all looks pretty original in there. Really nice interior. Love these wheels on it. They look very period correct. Really interesting to see cars of this time period that are completely unmolested and look completely original like this. beautiful looking 61 Corvette resto mod here. Firstly, you'll notice the wheels look like the original wheels, but they're actually machined out of alloy to look like those original Corvette wheels, much larger of course. Under the hood, that is running the LT1 that you would have found in a more modern Corvette, for example, a C7 Corvette. So modern running gear in this thing, beautiful looking interior. Have a look at those wonderful perforated leather seats. It's got cup holders, which it wouldn't have come with originally, and they've managed to integrate modern gauges into that original gauge cluster of the Corvette. Even like the way they've trimmed with the stitching and everything, really, really beautiful. There's a lot of, this is part of the Corvette Club over there and over there. We've got a couple of C8s matching pair over here. Now, interesting to look at this. Here's a 61, and over here is a 1958. Have a look at the subtle differences. Still has that scallop side, this has that scallop side, but notice the tail lights, how that they're actually integrated into those rear wings. And the other interesting thing about the 58 is 58, sorry, is the exhaust actually comes out of the bumper through here. Makes you wonder whether it used to have issues with corrosion of the bumpers, but once again, the interior in this one is resto modded, and then under the hood of this one is an LS3, like you would have found, for example, in a C6 Corvette, so or a Camaro for that matter as well. My Camaro, for example, came with an LS3. So interesting take on two really classic cars. The rest of the Corvette Club's some great looking stuff here. We got a C7 over here, another C8 over here, C8, a whole group of them down through here. Remember, if you've got a club and you want to come to South OC Cars and Coffee, reach out to us via Instagram or our website. We'll get to bring you an early party together like these guys so you can make a real day of it.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We're gonna light it up now.
We have got a stack of Gen 1 Camaros around here. Just got to share them with you. This is Robert over here that organised the group to come in. First of all, beautiful looking blue 69 Z28. Next to it a 1968, and then next to it another 1969 rolling through a 1967 and another 68. Now, how do I know which ones are which? Let's share a little bit of information. If you're looking between the Gen 1s, first of all, when you look at a 69, you'll notice it's got a scallop along the front and along the rear. You don't get that on the 67 and the 68. This also doesn't have the RS front end. You could get one that has an RS front end, and I don't think we've got one of those here this morning. Maybe around the other side, we'll have a look. Next to it, we got a 68. How do we know it's 68? Side markers down here, and it also doesn't have the corner windows on the side, so really easy to tell looking at that. So this one, once again, scallop on the side, and this is 69, and then coming down here, no side markers front and rear, corner glass, we know this is a 1967. How do I know? I'm a huge fan of Gen 1. I'm a huge fan of all Camaros, but Gen 1 is certainly a great place. This is a beautiful looking 1969 again. Notice that crease in the fender, running a small block under there, which is really cool. Let's jump around the other side. So Gen 2 over here. Really nice looking car again. This guy is running a big block in here, split bumper, super cool. Gen 5 over here, same generation I've got. We're moving through Gen 4 over here, 69 again. And this is really great to see. So here's this open front end of a 69. Come over here, and here is an RS front end of 69. I love this front end. See, it's got the hidden headlights under there, which of course they did also in the 67 and 68 with the RS front end, but this was really pronounced as an RS front end. So great looking car all the way through. 67, 69, 68's over there, and of course split bumper. Really great to see, especially all these Gen 1s. Right, I showed the Chevy some love before. Let's do the same for Mopar, starting off with this wonderful looking Charger. A little bit of Holy Grail under there, look at that. 426 Hemi under the hood. This thing's all original. Love that hidden headlight front end on this thing. Still got the standard steel wheels, which looks great. Look at the shifter in here. It's the way it's been pulled across to the side. I don't know if you can see that or not. Or completely stock this thing. And then around the back, I love the back end of these things with the two tail lights under here. This is a pretty car. Everything about this car is absolutely perfect. Next thing, rolling down as we go. Look at this. Now we're looking at something a little more subdued, but man, it's still beautiful. The color is so period correct. This great looking Plymouth here. Belvedere next to it, also super clean. Really, really cool under the hood. Another Belvedere here as we roll through. And then Barracuda down here. Look at the fluted hood on this thing. Really cool. There's so many cool cars. I'm going to keep going. Great looking Continental down here. Oh, and I love this Riviera. I think this is a 65. The cool thing about the Riv is these clamshell headlights. They literally open up and go down, so the headlights become exposed. There's a couple of other cool things about this car as well. Look at the way this armrest sort of folds up from under the back of the seat. And one of the interesting things about this car, because of the way they were designed and they were pillarless, it's going to open the lights, please do. The interesting thing, here we go, watch the headlights. They're thinking about it, they want to. They didn't come up, they half came up. Yeah, they sort of half came up. Oh, look at this. It wants to, but it's, yeah, this one's a little bit more, hey, it's early morning. Has it had its coffee yet? Yeah, are they vacuum actuated? Are they vacuum or electric? Vacuum, so there's no vacuum running. That's why they haven't opened at the moment. One of the other interesting things about the Riv is that the outer door skin could actually be unbolted off the door frame so that you could actually get perfect alignment and good door gaps, whereas a lot of other cars, it was sort of hit and miss. With the Riv, the door skin could be unbolted, you get the alignment, then you bolt the door skin back on. They were really, really ahead of their time. If it looks familiar, if you watch the old original Roadhouse movie, this is what Patrick Swayze bought to have as his car that he drove to the club. And last but certainly not least, I want to finish off with this car on this road. This belonged to a gentleman by the name of Paul, who was one of our volunteers, and Paul passed away a couple of years ago. I saw this car roll in and I said to the owner, did this belong to a guy called Paul? And he said, yes, it did. You know, it's been a sad week for us this week. We also lost a guy yesterday called Norm, who was a regular at the show. Used to come here in his 1968 Camaro that his mother had owned since the car was near new, bought it off his brother's best friend. And Norm was here every week yesterday after a very, very long and courageous battle with cancer. Norm lost the fight yesterday. Our condolences to all of Norm's family this week as well. So this little thing is interesting. This is a Porsche-powered Meyer Manx. So if you know the name Meyer, you would be familiar with the fact that they used to make those Volkswagen Beetle-based beach buggies. But they did other stuff as well, and this is an example of that. This is actually based as a bug floor plan, it says, but it's based on a 2.2 litre Porsche with a 5-speed and a transaxle in it. So somebody's built this, quirky little fiberglass car. It's got the swing-up doors. Really interesting little thing. Back in the days when car manufacturers didn't have to go and crash their cars and test them and make sure they could, we're going to pass safety standards. People would just make interesting things, and this is a great example of that. Have a look at the back of this thing. So obviously it's not normally like that. They've got the cover that normally drops in on it over there, but to show this little flat 6 in there, they've decided to show that. I bet this thing's a little rocket. I mean, it wouldn't weigh anything, but super, super cool. Time to share a little bit of rotary love here. The last of the RX-7s, that great rotary engine that Mazda developed, huge revving, of course, had that triangular, I'm not going to call it a piston, it was a rotor. It didn't go up and down like a piston, it actually rotated. And of course, it fell to the fact that they could never get amazing fuel economy out of them, and emission standards made it difficult. So they used it in the RX-8, which was kind of a RX-7 wannabe, but a 4-door. But this was the last generation. They've got a great cult following, as they should. Great little motor, great little car. Good to see 3 of them lined up here this morning. Now, this is not something you see every day, this BMW 2000 CS. You see lots of the other models like the 2002s. This is a little rarer. Obviously not originally delivered into the US. You can tell that by the fact it's got these big headlights in the front. They typically didn't allow that over here. They made them use, or different cars use different headlights. And also the location of the mirrors. That front end is so interesting. It's just so different from any other BMWs really at the same time. That blue velour interior, that wonderful inset wooden dash, and then of course the wood on the steering wheel as well, and that beautiful light rimmed steering wheel. This was less of a sports car, I'm sure, and more of a sort of a, want of a better word of this day, more of a sort of a grand tourer of this era. I'm guessing it was more designed to compete against the likes of some of the Lancias and some of the gear design cars as well. It's a really, really pretty car.
That is it for a very busy South OC Cars and Coffee. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Please remember, if you are attending the show, respect our rules: no revving, no speeding, no burnouts. That includes on the property, driving through the streets of San Clemente, and then getting on and off those freeways. I want to say a massive thank you to all the sponsors. We have the brackets here: Wear Marketing, Mazda, McGuire's, iAccident Attorneys, Coldwell Banker Realty, Next Level Auto Protection, Sierra Ineos, Grenadier, Go Mobile Tire, Hillbank Motor Corporation, Magnaflow, and Camberg, Mountain View Adventure Vehicles, Josh the Auto Buyer, Happy Jewels, and of course Carbontastic as well. And then I do want to give a massive thank you to all the volunteers as well for helping us out each and every week. We could not do it without you guys. Remember, if you want to become a volunteer, hit us up on Instagram at South OC Cars and Coffee Merch. So we handle all the volunteer roster, and then while you're over there, check out some of our hats, hoodies, t-shirts, stickers, everything you guys could possibly want from South OC Cars and Coffee. If you are volunteering, you get to bring your car in before 8:30, and then Ruby's Diner provides a free coffee and donut for everyone helping out.
Yeah, big thank you to Ruby's for doing that and feeding the masses, and a big thank you to the outlets in San Clemente for allowing us to be here as well. Remember, if you need to do any shopping, go to the movies, grab a coffee, go to a restaurant, come to the outlets, tell them South OC Cars and Coffee send you. Well, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you back here next week for another South OC Cars and Coffee.
Thank you guys.